I have a feeling this will be a very short review today. So I'm taking a look at Lupin the Third Part 3. And the reason why I think this is going to be a very short review today is because there's not a whole lot I can really talk about here. So if you've seen my review on Lupin the Third Part 1 or Part 2, then there's really not much I can talk about. I mean, all the characters are the same, and the fact that every episode is self-proclaimed is also the same. So yeah, there's nothing much else I can say that I already haven't said before in the other two reviews that I did off this series. But before we get into my thoughts on the overall stories in this one, let's start talking about the animation. Man, I never thought I'd be saying that so damn quickly. But I have to say, the animation here is kind of inconsistent. Because at first, the series kind of had a more serious look to it, much like in the original series. And then sometimes it would switch to the more campier look, much like in Part 2. So basically it starts out looking more serious, and then later on it starts looking out more campy-like. So it's kind of weird that it was done that way, but as for the overall animation itself, well, sometimes it does look really good, and then there are some parts that just don't look nearly as good as what I thought it would be. So overall, the animation is alright, it just could have been a whole lot better. Even though I do think it is more good than bad, but still. Now as for the music in this one, thankfully this is actually one of the best parts of the show, is that the music is still freaking great. So of course it fits the show, some of the songs are really catchy, and well, I don't have any complaints whatsoever. And the same thing can be said about the opening theme song as well. I actually really like that one a whole lot. Hell, I'd even say that it's probably my favorite opening to any of the Lupin the Third anime series. So at least that is done awesomely. Now, as for the voice acting, this one is only released in Japan, so as you know, there's not a whole lot I can really say here. But it is kind of unfortunate there never was a dub for this one, since the dub for Part 2 was fucking awesome. But, oh well, at least the Japanese voice acting is still fine the way it is. Well, at least as far as I can tell anyways. So now, normally I'd be giving the score here, but instead, I'm going to be giving out my overall thoughts on the main idea of this show, and then I'm going to go into the score. So if you want to know my overall thoughts on the main story, is that, honestly, some episodes are good, or at least they have their good moments, or some funny moments here and there, but for the most part though, some of the episodes are just not as entertaining as I thought they would be. And I think the reason why I didn't like some of the episodes here is that a lot of them kind of feel like rehashes with nothing new to them, and just the overall episodes were kind of mediocre. But like I said earlier, there are some episodes that were pretty good or had some funny moments, but overall, I don't know man, this one is just very mixed for me. And it's a damn shame considering what we've seen before with the other two series. So now, as for the score, I think I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10. Now, I have a feeling if someone is going to be watching this who doesn't know my channel whatsoever, they're probably going to be thinking I'm some hater of this show or something like that. Well, no, that's not the case. So just to give you a quick rundown is that, for the original series, I gave that one an 8 out of 10 because I thought it was really enjoyable for the time, and then as for Part 2, I gave that one a 9 out of 10 because I thought it was a really good improvement with a lot of good humor in it. So no, I'm not a hater of the series at all. I just think Part 3 is just a big disappointment in comparison to the other ones that we've had. I mean, it went from going from a 9 all the way to a 6. But that's not to say that Lupin the Third Part 3 is bad or anything like that. I'd say it's actually more good than bad. It's just not as good as what I was hoping it would have been. But you know what? I'll take it for what it is and say that it's decent. And it really is unfortunate I just didn't enjoy this one as I thought I was going to. Well, thankfully, it didn't kill the series or anything like that, considering they still made movies after this, and they eventually made a Part 4, which came out I think in 2015. And they also made a few spin-off series as well. In fact, I'll let you guys in on this, but next year, I'm going to be taking a look at one of those spin-off series. So yes, to end it off here, I'll just say that, yes, the series is good, but definitely not great, and of course, considering where the series that it belongs to, it's definitely a step down. Therefore, making it a black sheep of the franchise.